President Herzog, thank you for your visit. You've had the chance to meet with families and victims today for the first time. Many of them have spoke about their frustrations about the lead up to this attack. Do you share those frustrations? Could more have been done to prevent such an attack on the Jewish community?
These frustrations were shared by many of us, including myself, where I alerted as I've seen this wave surge all over the world, and I've seen it in many countries, including Canada, Great Britain, the United States, and Australia, all English-speaking countries. And I've alerted way in advance, as well as many others, and that is why I understand this frustration clearly. And I hope the steps that were recently taken will bring change. This has to be a consistent, ongoing effort to change reality.
A question from Israeli media.
Mr. President, did the anti-Israeli saying of Australia's leaders ignite the anti-Semitism? What should the State of Israel do against such expressions, even from friends like Australia?
I differentiate between debate and arguments between nations and between a clear understanding of one inherent element in the equation. Israel is the only nation state of the Jewish people. The International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, which was adopted all over the world, clearly states that attacks and undermining their whole notion of the nation state of the Jewish people and its right to self-determination and the right to defend itself is anti-Semitism. And I think this has to be disseminated. You can argue on policies. We argue on policies. But it's a total different ballgame where ongoing attacks and criticism and agony and pain of Jews who are citizens of any country, including this country, and we see ourselves as the protectors of Jews all over the world, are attacked and harassed in other countries. And in Australia, which is a model democracy, it must not happen.
President Herzog, standing here at this solemn site where 15 people were killed indiscriminately, there are protests planned today in Sydney for people who are mourning 70,000 killed in Gaza, including 20,000 children. Can you reflect on what is the message to protesters, if you have one?
Sure. First of all, it is important for me to say that I've come here in goodwill and in a message to the people of Australia. Australia and Israel are close friends and allies since the days of old. It was Australian soldiers who liberated the Holy Land as one of the greatest steps towards the creation of the homeland of the Jewish people. And it was Australia who was the first nation to declare and recognize Israel at the United Nations. And Australia is a close ally for years. And Israel was always a bipartisan issue in Australia. These demonstrations, in most cases, what you hear and see, comes to undermine and delegitimize our right, my nation's right, the nation which I am the head of state of its mere existence, and is contradictory to whatever ever was said and done by Australia. And we did not seek that war. On October 7th, our nation was attacked terribly, and people were butchered, murdered, raped, and burnt and abducted. We have here bereaved Israeli families who came from the kibbutz Nir Oz, and came from the war in order to express their condolences here at Bondi, but also to make a clear statement and a message. We should all fight terror together. Terror is what undermines the whole availability of peace and the notion of peace in our region. As always, it was always the case and is always the case. And therefore, terror is unacceptable by any means.